Yesterday was the anniversary of Kobe Bryant scoring 81 points. January 22nd, 2004, Kobe threw in 81 against the Raptors. Well, a couple of big guys were basically saying, hold my beer, I'm going after it. Joel Embiid said, let's get busy. He goes out and gets 70. And then Cat goes out and gets 62. Now, one is not as good as the other, where Cat, he had 40 at halftime, but the game got tight, and down the stretch, he went 2 for 10 in the fourth quarter, and they lost after getting 62. I mean, to me, if the 62, don't get me wrong, 62 is 62. In the National Basketball Association, you score 62 points, you're doing something. But your team lost, and they tried, they were going to you, and you couldn't get it done. That's why I think Embiid's is way, way better. He had 59 after 3. They won by 10 going away. He had 70. But Embiid is just better than Cat. I mean, it's period, point blank. So it's just Embiid. Embiid is going on just a scoring tear. A scoring tear. I still think they need another piece to win in the playoffs. What do y'all think? I still think they need somebody else. They got him. They got Maxey. I don't trust Tobias Harris in the playoffs. I know y'all don't either. I know you. We've had that conversation. You and we. This is something we all agree on. Tobias Harris is not to be trusted in the playoffs. Tobias Harris is not to be trusted in the playoffs. So they still need somebody else, I believe, if they're going to make a serious run to beat a Milwaukee, to beat a Boston. They need somebody. They need another role player, somebody that can come in with some energy, get them 12 to 15 points a night, maybe even another shooter. They need something. But it's a good question is, and that's funny, somebody said that Embiid, Cat, and Giannis's brother combined for 162 points last night. Now, see, y'all are being funny now. Y'all are being funny. Stop it. Stop it. But the 76ers choke just like they do. They do. But yeah, we'll see, man. I think the Sixers just need somebody else. They do. They need somebody else. I think they made a great move getting rid of Doc Rivers. I'm not a Doc Rivers fan. I don't think Doc Rivers is a good coach. I don't. I think he lived off that Celtics championship for over a decade. He lived off of that for over a decade. And he's been choking ever since. With good teams, I might add. With good teams. So I think they made it good getting Nurse as their coach, but I think they need more. So we'll see what happens when the trade deadline gets here after the All-Star break. We'll see what happens. So because there's a lot of teams that are trying to win now, and because Philadelphia mess around and get upset in the playoffs by a Pacers, somebody like that. You see, the Pacers are trying to win. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, Embiid dropping 70. More impressive than Cat. They won the game. Cat, they lose. He struggled down the stretch. Troubling. Not to mention their coach just bashed them. And that's why we don't trust Minnesota. I mean, does anybody trust Minnesota in the playoffs? I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Does anybody think that Minnesota is going to do anything in the playoffs? I know they got the best record in the West, but does anybody trust them? The answer to that is hell no. Hell no. Nobody trusts them. So that's all I'm saying. I don't think, and because they need a lot. They need a lot for the postseason. Let's see. Somebody on TikTok said Minnesota is really good. They gave the Nuggets their best fight last year. Did they? I mean, Minnesota, nobody trusts Minnesota in the playoffs, man. I mean, no. I don't trust Minnesota to do anything in the playoffs. They'll be around, and they may give you a good fight, but if Minnesota gets beat in the first round of the playoffs, is anybody going to be surprised? They could have the best record in the West. Will anybody be surprised if they lose in the first round of the playoffs? Because who would it be? Like losing to like possibly a Lakers team or a Golden State, somebody like that. Are we going to be surprised if they get beat by them? Hell no. So, yeah, I saw that the Heat just got Terry Rozier. The Heat are trying to put something together. They needed some more help, some more scoring. And you know the Heat always do their thing. But yeah, man, back to Minnesota. I just don't trust them. So, but yeah, they didn't have to give up anything, the Heat. The Heat got Terry Rozier, and they gave up Lowry in a 2027 first-round pick with protections. I mean, if you're the Heat, you do that all day. If you're the Heat, you do that all day long. Love it. I'm glad my man Scary Terry got out of Charlotte. That was basketball purgatory. Yeah, Kyle Lowry fell off 2 years ago, and Terry Rozier still got stuff left. He still may have something to prove. He never really even been on a good team other than that one team of the Celtics that Kyrie Irving was on that got hurt, didn't play, and they made it to the conference finals. Then Terry went to go get paid. He got paid by Charlotte, got paid twice, but they sucked. So, it's almost like you never heard from him again because they were never any good. But Terry Rozier still got some basketball in him.